Shit. How's everyone doing today? We're talking about Mark from Invincible. Invincible is a really great show, and Mark, he's a pretty cool character, and I'm not gonna lie, I really liked his arc. I really liked how, he started out, and but I will say he might be one of the most abused characters in fiction, in any fictional TV, movie, or anything, because I swear nearly every fight this guy is in, he just loses. He gets an ass whooping. Nearly every fight, he just gets clobbered like it's a prescription or some shit, because I don't know. Like I don't know. He just can't seem to win a fight. Like I get in the show, they kind of done it so like Mark, he doesn't have it so easy. It's kind of making it more meaningful. Makes the he seem like a good character, and then later on he starts being more stronger, and he actually starts winning his fights more. But holy shit, man! It's like they hated this this. Character or some shit. Like one of the writers, when they were writing the character for Mark, they were just visualizing him as like his son that he really hates. It's like, yeah, just have him get beaten nearly to death by his dad, have him get beaten to death nearly by an outer dimensional Viking space fairy who has a golden hammer, who's literally addicted to fighting like it's heroin. That actually happened in an episode. But yeah, I think the craziest ass whooping that Mark got was by Omni-Man. Now, I think this happened in the first season, second season, I can't remember. But anyways, in this fight, Invincible starts to find out Omni-Man, he's not a good guy. He's not really a good space dad that, he made himself out to be. He didn't come to Earth, reproduce and help this population. He came to Earth to help his own population. He came to Earth to basically have it prepared like a meal for the president, except it's being prepared to be taken over by his race of Viltrums. And then Mark, he's just like, no, I kind of don't want to do this because, I have bonds with friends and all, like, and, I'm chill with the boys here, but I'm like, it's too bad, buddy. Well, I guess I might just need to dust off my old knuckles and, belt to, beat your ass. So then Omni-Man starts going to town on his own son. And, it's Invincible stood no chance. Omni-Man was basically just, like, toying around with him. That scene where he takes him to the underground tunnel to basically show him how, like, easy it is to kill humans, that was brutal as shit. Man, Mark was, like, Mark got, like, front row seats to, like, the fucking, live leak video of just, live leak video of him just, like, massacring everyone in the train. He's literally used as, like, a barrier or something. Just sliced them all up. That was crazy. It's just right in his face. Like women were dying, children are dying. It must be trauma. That Mark must be traumatized by some of the ass whoopings and some of the shit that happened to him. And then bro flies him to another mountain and just starts fucking going to town on him like an alcoholic dad beating their wife in the 50s because the steak was too cold. It's crazy. And then the only reason Invincible actually survived that fight with Omni-Man is because Omni-Man asked him, "What will you have after 17 years?" And then Mark was like, I'll have you, Dad. I'll still have an abusive piece of shit, but I still love you. It feels like I hate myself. And and then Omni-Man just kind of flew off. He's like, what am I doing, bro? He had to just, go take a breather up in space by a black hole. I think he wanted to kill himself actually at that point. He's actually considering flying into the black hole and turning into like a spaghetti pretty much. That's the only reason Invincible survived that, by the way. He was nearly dead. He like if you looked at Invincible, he looked like a fucking pile of shit and a beaten pulp on the ground. He had to like go to hospital for that. Another fight actually that I thought was pretty that was probably nearly as brutal as that, or just like there's just one of the biggest Mark L's of all time. It's not as bad as the Omnium fight because he does actually whoop some ass in this fight. And it's the fight where where him and Titan confront Machine Head, basically saying, "Yo, give us back Chicago. We want to take over Chicago. It's what I want the city to be like." Because Machine Head was basically like like Tuco in Breaking Bad. He was running New Mexico. Machine Head was like that, but he's running Chicago. So then they're gonna try and fight Machine Head, but Machine Head, he has like this thing in his head or whatever where he's able to predict shit happening. He's basically able to see into the future, calculate probabilities, all that bullshit. And then he called in the boys. He called in like some bodyguards. He paid some people to show up, and one of them was Battle Beast. It might as well have just called Kratos, because Battle Beast, Invincible was able to clear through all of them eventually. He was struggling at the start, but then when his adrenaline kicked in, he was able to whoop all their assholes. And then Battle Beast, he still couldn't get Battle Beast. He literally goes, "Who's next?" And then Battle Beast just like wallows him onto the ground and pancakes him. I just lost track of what I was saying because my mom rang me. Battle Beast just walloped him and he fucked up the whole team as well. Invincible needed a hospitalization after that. This guy cannot win a fight for the life of him. Even like when he got the easier fights, I swear at the start he's struggling with the Mauler twins. There's a fight actually where I don't think he's in it, but the Molotons actually managed to subdue like the Guardians of the Globe because like they have this electric gun that targets their nervous system and all. I kind of thought that was bullshit. But yeah, he doesn't really have it easy for him when it comes to fights. He just kind of turns into a punching bag when he goes into it. I don't know who to feel bad for more, him or Peter Parker, because Peter Parker kind of lived like a brokey college student, and he couldn't really afford rent that much. He could barely get by, but I feel like Invincible had it more because at least Peter would be able to win some of his fights. Invincible didn't really seem to win any of his fights. And then on top of that, his first woman, I can't remember her name, but her head basically looked like palm trees and she was like black, I just remember. And she is some bitch now that I think about it. There's a scene, she's some bitch. She knew Invincible was a superhero the whole time. And then when Invincible wouldn't tell her where he was going or what he was doing, she got mad at him. It's like, you already knew, so it's like, what do you mean? What do you expect? Like, she got mad because he wasn't spending more time with her, because he's out doing actual important shit, like saving the world or fighting, like, Rihanna men or whatever. And she knew that, but she still chose to get mad at him. It's like, oh yeah, you need to trust me, show loyalty or whatever. I just, like, what the fuck? You already knew, and you just expect him to tell you anyway? Yeah, she just seemed pretty annoying. I can't really remember that much, but yeah, I just remember that part. It's like, yeah, she's pretty annoying. And then... And there's later on in the show, actually, he actually manages to meet up with his dad again. He goes to like this planet, this Flaxen planet, I'm pretty sure, and his dad ends up basically an ant humanoid alien, and he ends up making a new child that looks like he got baptized in lean, and that kind of pisses Mark off because he kind of just ditched his man and just had another wife like it was nothing, like he's Indian and he's just going through wives, So yeah, that must I feel bad for Invincible. Like his dad nearly bet him to death, cheating on his ma, and then afterwards, they had like a 5-second reunion, but then more Viltrumites came to the planet and they basically just took his dad away to a prison. They bet Mark and told him, right, you're gonna go back down there and prepared it for us to come and kill everyone. So Jeez, this guy cannot catch a break. Even when he sees his dad just gets swiped away on him like a credit card or whatever. So, his fight with Conquest, I feel like, was the most brutal as well because he broke nearly all his limbs. He had to turn into a cyborg by the end of the show. And the Conquest is such an evil bastard. He was stretch armstronging his little brother Oliver, and just to get Mark to attack him, which is like so fucked. It's like Mark gets beaten, his family gets beaten, and not to mention actually Angstrom Levi. He's pretty sick in the head. Angstrom Levi is basically like this big black Megamind thing. He has like a big swollen broccoli head because he absorbed like all the memories of his alternate selves, and all his memories got jumbled up. He couldn't keep track of his memories. He didn't know which was which. He basically went crazy, and he thought, and in one memory, an evil Mark from a different universe went along and just killed everyone. He killed, I'm fairly sure he killed Angstrom's son. He literally just splattered him in front of him. So Angstrom thought that was the good Mark from the parallel universe, so he went after him. And when Mark pulled up and Angstrom Levy was already there, he was holding his baby by the leg like upside down like as it was just a dolly or something. He was not taking this shit seriously. And like he was threatening to hurt his man and everything. And he actually broke his man's legs. It's like his family just isn't safe, I guess. Invincible has to go live in isolation for his family to be safe. So then Invincible, this is actually one of the few fights that Invincible wins. Invincible flies Angstrom into like a different dimension because Angstrom's his power is basically able to make portals, and he's able to trap people in other dimensions, and only he's able to open up a dimension. Pretty OP if you ask me. So he goes into a different dimension, just starts beating the shit out of Angstrom. He snaps, something in his brain just went crack, and he just starts turning his fists into overdrive jackhammers and just literally beats Angstrom to death. I didn't think he'd beat him to death, but he pummeled him so hard he actually beat him to death, which you must be pretty pissed to be able to punch so hard you literally killed him. And that he didn't even kill Angstrom. He's actually barely alive, but his head did look like a crushed tomato or deflated balloon. He had to crawl back into a portal. If Invincible finished the job, it would have really prevented the next thing happening from what I'm going to talk about. When all the evil marks came from the parallel universe into the main universe and basically just started fucking shit up, I can't remember Invincible's fight. Actually, I do remember what's it called? His missus, the ginger one. Oh, I forgot her name. Adam Eve. I do remember one of the Invincible variants fighting Adam Eve, and they just grab her leg and just like snap that shit as if it was made from paper. You know. So even his girlfriend's getting attacked now. I swear, everyone around Mark is just getting attacked like he's a curse. You know, if you make a bond with Mark, you're gonna get assassinated. It just seems like that. And he also lost one of his friends, Rex. Like so. On top of like all this shit that already happened to him, at the end of the season, he had to show up to the funeral of Rex because Rex is dead and everyone's mourning him. So it's like, damn, he's losing his friends, he's losing his family, and yeah, his little brother was getting fucked around with. He did this guy. I don't know. I just really feel bad for this guy. Like he seems to have all these powers. He's able to fly. He's super strong and all, but he still gets getting his ass whooped like he's a little toddler or whatever. It's like. I would know later on in the seasons. I guess he does end redeeming because he gets stronger, but it's just it kind of does seem like the creators hated the Invincible just for some reason. Like, even at the start of the series when they were fighting, I think I'm not sure if the Ant people were the Flaxons. I'm fairly sure the Flaxons. Or I'm just gonna look it up real quick. You know, the Flaxons are the aliens at the start that they were the Invincible and the Guardians of the Globe were fighting. Those ant-humanoid alien things. I don't know what the shit they were called, but anyways. Even like joining the Flaxons, Mark was still struggling against them. He was even struggling against like level 1 opponents. Like his dad had to come in and basically just obliterate their entire planet within like a day. You know, it's crazy. He can't win any fight. He can't catch a break. He just keeps getting hospitalized just regularly. I really like if I was a superhero, I wouldn't want to be in Mark's position anyway. Like, I know, like, I feel like it's more realistic because, Superman, he's always managing to clear, like, all, his enemies, all his ops, they just, they get, washed away immediately. But then with Mark, he just struggles. I guess it's supposed to build character and it's supposed to make, the enemies look, like, more formidable. It would, to be fair, it would be boring if Invincible was just easy, just clearing out everyone that he just came across. I'm fairly sure the only other person actually he's able to beat as well was Immortal, because there's an episode where two guys come from the future and they have to basically come and ask Invincible for help, and they take him to the future. Actually, yeah, they take him back to the future because Immortal is king of the world and he's enslaved humanity pretty much, and he's been doing all these atrocities, basically like Super Hitler, to try and get Invincible's attention. He's basically just like begging. He's like, please notice me, senpai. It's like a dad who has like 10 kids and one of them is just there like, please just feed me or whatever. So Invincible goes there and he actually manages to kill Immortal. That's one of the fights he won. But yeah, his fight win to lose ratio is pretty shitty. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have left to say about Mark. He seems like a pretty cool guy, but the shit that happens to him isn't really that cool. See you later.